guys, today I wanted to try drawing something, well, original for once. I normally never draw anything that is actually original artwork, which seems kind of weird because I kind of do an art channel and you would assume if you did art channel you would have a lot of original artwork, but for me that has never been the case. I've always drawn lots of fan art and I've always drawn lots of people's OCs. So I never really draw original artwork. That's something I've never done a lot of. Even back when I first started doing art, I've always done people's like characters and stuff from their like characters they had like on Roblox.com. That's where I started drawing all together on digital. I know that's pretty dorky, but I was young and that was where I started. And it was a lot of great practice because drawing all those different people was really fun for me. And then I started moving on to different things like YouTube and DeviantArt and then things like that. And then that's how I got here. But I don't do much original artwork. I mean, I've done a few things like when it comes to like drawing my own characters and stuff like that. But other than that, I haven't, and that's why this was a lot of fun and I really wanted to try doing this. I also wanted to try sometime selling like limited time prints, like just for a short time of like canvas prints. I feel like canvas prints sounds like a cool idea simply because I love how the canvas feels and I always think there's so much, I don't know, it's so pretty to me and I always thought those were like the best type of prints. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, it's more of a recent thing I've noticed that's gotten pretty popular recently, so it sounds pretty cool to me to try that. As you can tell already, the hair looks pretty weird. I wanted to go for something that I thought would be super unique and different and strange. And the first thing that came to mind was, well, hair, but the hair it's water. It's water hair instead of just normal hair. So that was a challenge to be honest. That was a huge challenge because last time I drew water hair like this, it was for an OC and I did a more simplified version of it. And after doing that, I really liked how it turned out and I was like, that's kind of cool and a neat idea. So when I started this one, I was like, I want to try that again. I want to try some sort of water hair, even though water as hair would be, it would be like see-through and they would be kind of like bald looking, but I didn't want to do it completely realistic. That was the first thing I came up with. I was like, right away I realized I wasn't going to do it like realistic water for her hair. I was going to change it up a bit. I was first going to do lots of cell shading, which would not work well with water, obviously. So it was a struggle. It was a struggle to make it look like water and also want to do shading on the skin like I wanted to. Because normally water, if it has like some sort of lighting through it, it's going to come through very, I don't know, diffused, and it's going to be very like faded and like a blur almost. Like any sort of shading going through water is going to look like a shine on the skin, not like an actual shadow because it's water, you know? The light's going to go through it. It's not going to just like make a shadow on the skin like normally like how I do it. But I still wanted to do cell shading on the skin. So the very first thing I was thinking of was like, oh man, I don't know how to do that with water. So I decided just to like do the shading in a way that isn't really how it would be in real life with water, but how I wanted it to look, if that makes sense. Because I realized, sure, you can do drawings that make it look as realistic as possible and like do very realistic or do the proportions proper or do things the way you want to, like if you want it to be more like a realistic proper proportions, realistic proper lighting, then that's normally how a lot of people do it. But I was like, why not, if you really wanted to, change things? Like, sure, it's not realistic to shade this way for water, but I don't know, I liked how it looked that way, so that's what I went for. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with changing things if it's not realistic. I mean, that's what fantasy is all about. And like also drawing things that are more different, more like modern art stuff too. It's usually very different from reality, so I guess that doesn't really matter when it comes to art. It's like do whatever you want. But as you can see here, I was trying to figure out how to color the hair, and I was wanting it to look like it was hair on her head, but I also wanted it to look like it was water. So to say the least, that was very challenging. And I also didn't want her to have like any eyebrows, which made her start looking very gnomish and very interesting. She starts looking very weird, but I wanted it to be that way in a sense. I wanted it to make her look like she was like some sort of different kind of creature and she wasn't just like human. But I don't know why eyebrows would mean you're not human, because I'm pretty sure people could just take their eyebrows off, or just some people probably naturally don't have that much of eyebrows, because I know everyone's eyebrows grow differently. So I don't know why that would mean you're not human, but still, I thought it made him look more fantasy. I don't know. But when it also came to the water, as you can see here, I'm starting to turn the lines into like a different color. That was what I wanted to do right away, was make the lines more of a bright color, something more white, more like bright blues, stuff like that, to make it look more like it's actually water and not just like, well, lines on her head. Because when it comes to doing line art, it usually gets rid of the idea that anything is actually water, or anything doesn't have like a lot of mass, or isn't like something that you can just touch, because water is supposed to be like a liquid. And I feel like with coloring something like that, you always have to change up the line art and make sure that the line art isn't like, well, very obvious, because whenever you do lots of obvious line art, it starts to take away from the shading, in my opinion. I always think that when there's lots and lots of line art, the shading usually lacks, because you don't see as much of like a overall shading, where like if say you wanted one light source and it like goes over, like fades through all of the line art, it feels more like the lighting actually has an effect on the picture, rather than the lighting just being on top or underneath the line art. Because when I used to leave the line art completely black, like how I originally make it. But with this piece, I even started with the line art being blues, or being peaches and stuff like that, because I realized I normally change the line art very soon into my drawing, because I like how it looks. I like changing the line art and making it fit into the drawing more. I don't know, it's interesting to me. I know some people draw without any line art, which I think is a really good idea, because it makes the drawing, like the shading and the lighting, all fit together real well. And I wish I could do that. I would love to learn how to do that, to shade everything without any line art. But I've never done that, so it's difficult to say the least. But with this, I feel like I'm getting closer in the direction I wanted to with my shading, and it was so much fun because it was an original art piece and something I wanted to do just for myself. And I rarely do stuff like that, and it makes it really fun for me, because then I'm excited, like, oh man, I wonder if other people will like this. I wonder if they'll be interested in my original artwork. I mean, I know just from experience that people are always going to be more interested in fan art, and they're always going to be more interested in things like that. So that's why I originally did fan art and all that for my YouTube channel and things like that, or even on Roblox when I drew a long time ago. I did mostly just fan art and things, because I thought that was the best way to get people to notice you and be like, oh, well, people will see my art if it's fan art and stuff like that. But with how YouTube has been, and it's been so, I don't know how to explain it, it's been so up and down, and it just doesn't work the way it used to. So it's hard to support yourself on YouTube alone, which is why I do commissions. And thank you guys so much for buying commissions from me. You guys are the reason I'm able to do this, and you guys are the reason I'm able to be an artist at all, like I've always wanted to be. So it's honestly so amazing. I really can't possibly thank you guys enough for that. But yeah, like I said, YouTube is not something that it's easily to trust or support yourself with alone. Like, it's not like that. It's so up and down and so wishy-washy. You can't trust it. So it's like, can be part of what you do, but it can't be like all you do unless you're like super big on YouTube. If you're really big on YouTube, then you don't have to worry about it, because, well, you're pretty big. But then you still have to worry about it, because some YouTubers like will get attacked by YouTube anyway. I don't know how we got to that. How did we get to YouTube's like algorithm and how YouTube is being run? I don't know, but this is supposed to be about art. But anyway, I hope you guys like this video. Please let me know if you'd like other videos like this one, where I just draw something and just talk to you guys about it. But I had so much fun with this. I didn't get to record the entire thing, which was really sad. I turned it off and then forgot about it and forgot to turn it back on. So that's why the entire ending of the drawing was completely cut out, which was a little sad, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video anyway, and let me know what you think about my drawing. And also if you would be interested in those canvas prints, because that sounds really fun to me. I really want to try that. Thank you guys so much for watching.